Today we got something truly special, a GPU so beastly it's practically rewriting the rules of high performance gaming. Say hello to the MSI RTX 5090 Suprim Liquid SOC, a liquid cooled powerhouse that ditches the old school air cooling and goes all in on an absolute unit of a 360mm radiator. MSI is here to prove that water cooling in GPUs isn't just a gimmick, it might be a revolution. So buckle up, because we're diving deep into why this card might be just the ultimate flex for your next build, if you can get one. Alright, let's be real. GPUs these days are basically mini reactors, pumping out an insane amount of heat, 4-slot air-cooled bricks, annoying. Case airflow nightmares? Stressful. And a 600-watt heat monster cooking your CPU? Yeah, no thanks. That's why MSI decided enough was enough and went full send on liquid cooling with the Suprim Liquid SOC. So here's the deal. Previous AIO cooled GPUs failed because they didn't bring tangible performance advantages over high-end cooler. You'll get a dual slot card, sure, but you'll have to find a space for the 240mm radiator that couldn't keep up with the insane heat output. It was a hassle and no reward. MSI saw the light, and by light I mean a 360mm radiator. This absolute unit finally gives liquid cooling a reason to exist in the GPU world. More cooling capacity, better performance, and finally a GPU that doesn't feel like it's doubling as a space heater. And the tubing is long enough to let you actually mount it in the front or bottom of your case, giving you options. We love options. Now let's talk numbers. This bad boy is coming in at a hefty $2,500 USD, about $500 more than the Founders Edition. Even if you're willing to shell out the cash, actually getting your hands on one is another story. This is thanks to scalpers and limited inventory. This card is nearly impossible to find at MSRP. The secondhand market, total disaster with prices skyrocketing past $3,000 at this point. It's less about whether you want this card and more about whether you can even get it. When you stack it against other premium 5090 models, this thing actually makes a lot of sense performance-wise. Now for the unboxing experience, don't let the massive box fool you. MSI went all out on the packaging. We're talking about premium foam protection that makes this thing feel like it should be delivered by a supermodel stepping out of a pool, but the card itself, surprisingly compact. It's a 2.5 slot design, not the absurd 4-slot behemoths we've seen recently. Instead of all that bulk sitting on your motherboard, the cooling is offloaded to the radiator, which is a really smart move. In that build quality, chef's kiss, metal backplate, reinforced tubing, and premium aesthetics that don't scream Christmas tree with RGB overload. This thing is clean, mean, and ready to dominate. Now let's talk about power, because MSI went all out here. It has 29 power phases, yes, you heard that right, 22 phases for the core alone, and this thing is an electrical engineering masterpiece. And that 32 gigs of GDDR7 memory and a jaw-dropping 1.79 terabytes of bandwidth. Translation, absolutely overkill, and we love every bit of it. Now what you've been waiting for, the actual numbers. We ran this beast through its paces in a slew of games, Cyberpunk 2077, Metro, Battlefield 5, and more. And let me tell you this thing shreds through 4K like hot knife through butter. With ray tracing cranked up, it still delivers buttery smooth frame rates thanks to raw horsepower underneath that hood. If you're a competitive gamer, this card is basically the cheat code for high FPS gaming. But don't just take my word for it, check out the slides on the screen for the benchmark results. These numbers speak for themselves, and if you're looking for a high-end GPU, you'll want to pay close attention. Now looking at the results, you can see that MSI's factory overclocking pushes their 5090 model to the limit, offering better frame rates and improved stability compared to standard versions. However, it's already maxed out at 600 watts of power limit, and tweaking it further may require lowering power to 540 watts of extra reliability with only a slight performance hit. There is no real overclocking beyond adjusting power settings, but a safer power limit could bring peace of mind without sacrificing too much performance. NVIDIA introduced DLSS 4, which is an AI-driven upscaling frame generation to enhance performance. However, the frame generation feature can introduce input lag, which may be a downside for competitive gamers. While it does boost FPS, the AI-generated frames may lack the responsiveness needed for fast-paced games. For me, the fake generation of AI frames are okay. They're not much of a noticeable difference for me for my casual gaming, but overall I do enjoy having the extra frame rates. Now sit back and watch the rest of the benchmark results to see just how much MSI has squeezed out of this beast of a card. Now, a big worry with water-cooled GPUs is noise, but here's the kicker. This thing is whisper quiet. Even under full load, the fans don't sound like a jet engine about to take off, measuring around 41.6 decibels. And temps, a mere 55 to 6 degrees under heavy gaming loads. Compare that to air-cooled cards pushing 80 plus degrees, and it's clear that MSI nailed the cooling design. Power draw? Yeah, it's a hungry boy. At peak, it's pulling around 600 watts, so make sure that your PCU is up to the task. You're definitely going to need a 1000 watt PSU just to power this thing, if not more. Originally, I thought with the pump in the radiator and the fans for this card, it was going to consume more, but in our tests, it didn't seem like it was consuming anything more than compared to a Founders Edition, which is great. So, is the MSI RTX 5090 Suprim Liquid SOC worth it? If you're looking for an absolute pinnacle of GPU performance, hate dealing with massive air-cooled bricks, and want the best thermal performance out there, then yes, this is the card to beat. But here's the reality check. Between the absurd price and limited stock and scalpers making things worse, getting your hands on this one is a challenge. If you find it at MSRP, then I would say go for it. Otherwise, you may want to wait or explore other options. MSI finally made a liquid-cooled GPU that makes sense, but actually buying one, that's the real battle. That's it for today's review. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more insane tech reviews. Let me know in the comments if this is your dream GPU or is it just too much? Let's talk about it. Catch you next time. This is David from Real Hardware Reviews, signing out.